All right, what's going on, everybody? Happy Thursday. Welcome back to another live stream. I'm out here messing around with this Husqvarna 125E Edger. It's having a tricky time starting. Well, it doesn't start at all. So, trying to get to the bottom of what is causing that, but we'll see. Air filter's clean. Smells like fuel. And just for shits and giggles, I threw in a new spark plug just because this thing wasn't stored very properly at one point, so things just started getting corroded and the spark plug is all rusty. And it has a champion plug. As you can see, it's all rusted out and corroded. So I threw in a NGK just for, like I said, shits and giggles. It's a better plug anyways, so this is for a new customer of ours. His name is Cal, and he also turns out to be my coworker. He's also my coworker, but new customer to us here in the shop. And he used it. It was running good, and then he stored it. As you can see, it didn't get stored very well, and he knows that. He told me that. He's like, I didn't have a place to put it, so it just kind of stayed outside. So went to start it up, and it didn't work. Right before the last time he used it, he got it serviced. So that's why the air filter looks nice. The spark plug's all corroded and whatnot because it stayed outside, so I'm guessing it got rained on. And the fuel filter, it's got one of those crummy, like fleece, like fuzzy Walbro style. I call them Walbro style. It's whatever, but I'll see if I can throw in a better one. I have a couple here that would work, a steel filter, but I don't know. We'll just probably leave it at that point. Looks like we got some folks in the house. We got the man, Grant. We got Stella in the house. Hope you all are doing well, and everybody else joining us. Welcome to the live stream, and appreciate everybody being here and taking time out of your day to pop in and see what we got going on. So anyways, and then once I get it running, I'm gonna just touch up the blade a little bit. So we don't want it super sharp, but we want it to have a nice little edge, and it's gonna be a lot better than what it is now. So much love to everybody. Happy Thursday. And we got Spencer T's Gamer in the house. But yeah, hopefully you guys are all doing good, guys and gals, ladies and gents. Anyways, got some fresh fuel in here. Like I said, try to start it just right before the live stream. It isn't going. So now what I'm checking is the spark arrestor, because depending on how much he ran it in the past, sometimes these spark arresters can get clogged up. The screen, just from all the carbon deposit and all that, from the fumes and whatnot. So really, you just gotta make sure you have all your bases covered. Airflow, fuel delivery, and spark. So this right here will take care of the airflow aspect of it. Same thing with your air filter. If you got a clogged filter dirty, you know, your airflow is not going to be very good. So I'm checking the spark arrestor now just to make sure it's not all clogged up. And if it is, then we just got to clean it up. And usually the way to clean it up is you take a torch to it, heat it up, and then everything will just kind of fall off. Or you use just a brush and brush it lightly. But you also don't want to heat it up too much and ruin the spark arrestor. And from what I see here, it's fine. So I can go ahead and rule that out. He said it did have spark. I don't know that myself. I haven't tested that part of it, but that's going to be the next thing to check. So if our airflow is good and our spark is good, then that's only going to leave us with fuel delivery. And being that this edger is not even turning over, I suspect that it either doesn't have spark or it's not actually getting fuel. And if it does have spark, then it's for sure going to be a fuel delivery issue, carburetor related, and at that point it's going to be either the metering diaphragm, or it could also be a line issue, but the lines look good. There's no leaks, there's no nothing. So I don't really have reason to suspect that it's the lines. Everything seems to be pressurizing. So, you know what, I'm actually I'm gonna put that back on. And I don't really work on Husqvarna equipment too much, but I quickly learned that this is why I don't really enjoy working on Husqvarna, because of all the different size hardware that it has, that they use. It's not a whole lot different, but it's, you know, you do need a few more different, you know, tools and sizes, and, you know, instead of it just being all T27, every now and then a T25 or, you know, or whatever. But let me see here. And I apologize for missing the comments. Spencer T says, hey. Stella says, I love listening to you yap. Man, I appreciate that, but sometimes the gift of gab is tricky, but I appreciate that. Spencer says, from India, and today it's Independence Day. Happy Independence to you guys. Hopefully everything's good out there. Grant says, put gas in the intake. If it turns for a second, that will let you know it's a fuel problem. Yeah, you could do that. We could do it that way too, but I don't really have a way to, I don't know. I'd rather just go through everything. But yeah, that is one way to do it. You can spray a little, you know, it's like a car. You know, you spray a little starter fluid in there, give it a little squirt, you know, but yeah. Passport Adventures says, bruh, you got to change the carbon filter. Carbon filter? What is that? Intake from the carbon filter, it's going to work if it's corroded. 2 strokes, don't have those. Passport. And we got ground pounder in the house. GP's in the house. Everybody better be on their best behavior. No, I'm just kidding. What up, GP? GP says, I'm lost, bro. My friend, I've been lost. I stay lost. At this point, I don't even try to be found, or I just. GP says it's hot, man. Yeah, it's warming up over here. It started out, it started off as a gloomy day, and now the sun's out, and so. But hopefully your day's going good out there. Crushing it with the trees. Okay, let's go ahead and get this cover removed. And at this point, we'll check for spark just to make sure, just to rule that out. Never worked on these edgers before, but well, I've never worked on an edger. I haven't even worked on any Husqvarna line trimmers before. I'm guessing I'm gonna probably have to take the rewind off. Shit. Well, hold on. Or maybe not. Yeah, no, I am. Fuck. Actually, let me see if I can test the plug on without having to take this cover, because I already know the cylinder looks good. No scoring, no nothing. It's got a Walbro coil or ignition module, for those that know it by that. GP says we are all lost. Facts. Facts. GP also says, killing it, man. Hope the same right back at you. Hell yeah, man. Thank you. Appreciate you. Appreciate you guys. Grant says, been hot here in India. In Indiana. In Indiana, GP, 90s and 100s. Woo. Yeah, tomorrow it's supposed to be a hot one. All right. So like I said, I already put a good plug in it. Got rid of that Champion corroded plug. It's running a BPMR 7A. I can just use this crankcase half. Does have spark. So it is going to be fuel delivery related. Because I was cranking on this thing, I was even cranking it with the throttle wide open, and the plug is dry. So my guess is it's going to be the metering diaphragm. He said he said he took all the fuel out of it, but as we know, unless you're really running it until it's dry, fuel always kind of gets left in the carburetor, and if it sits there long enough, it's just, it's going to eat away at it. No, either way, it's going to dry it out. But we'll see what we find. But cylinder's good. Our airflow's good. No clogs, no nothing. Spark, which is good. I'm good with that. So these are T25s. Put these back in. I'm not sure what the weather is temperature-wise today, but the sun is definitely hot. I'm sweating, but then again, it doesn't really take much for me to start sweating. Grant says, in case you didn't know, if a two-stroke takes a weird plug that ain't made anymore, a BPMR 7A is a universal plug. Interesting. Okay. I thought it was just an equivalent. I didn't know there was like a universal number or I just thought it was all just cross reference. But a lot of equipment, when it comes down to this, like trimmers and chainsaws, it's either going to be uh, BPMR 7A, talking NGK, either BPMR 7A or CMR 6H for like, certain saws. Um, but unless you want to run a hotter plug or whatever, you can switch it up. I don't know. But I always just run CMR 6H or the BPMR 7As. Okay, let's go ahead and get this carburetor out of here and see what's going on. This thing is like, I already wiped it down, the tank and everything down here, using, of course, our favorite crocodile cloth, because he said it was leaking and it has like a leak somewhere, but I don't see where it's coming from. So hopefully, maybe a line is busted. I don't know. But usually if something's busted, man, we'll have more fuel. But like I said, it seems to be pressurizing just fine. My guess it's gonna be the carburetor itself. Probably that metering diaphragm. Good old metering diaphragms. But yeah, hopefully everybody's doing good. Grant says, I see a lot of BPMR 8 or BPM 8Y plugs or the BPMR 7As and two strokes or the Champion CJ6 or CJ8. I think that's actually what this was here. Yep, RC6, RCJ6Y. I also have a Bosch here, R10 for Bosch. Yeah, these lines look fairly new actually for being how old this edger is. It definitely didn't get stored very good because there's a lot of corrosion. Looks like there's like mold growing on it. So it's like that 194 that I have in storage, just all nasty and shit. Okay. Let me... Fuel's probably gonna go squirting everywhere, so let me put on some safety glasses on. I've almost had fuel go into my eye a couple times because I wasn't wearing safety glasses. Surprising. So maybe it isn't pressurizing. Man, this carb is nasty. I'm gonna take this throttle cable out. Okay, well.
Yeah, this thing's nasty, man.
Pretty gross.